Hello and welcome to the video. Today we're going to continue on the Wellspring box set with Fia Bonny, the Void Siren. Now this is an interesting miniature here, as when I look at her, the more I looked at the card art, the more I thought that a lot of her parts are metallic. So that's kind of what I went with. And I was even surprised at some of the decisions I made on this one. So with that, let's get started. After priming the Mini black, I started off with bronze. And here I used it on her pants because in the card art, to me, at first I thought I was going to go with an orange. But then the card art kind of looks like her pants might be metallic. So I just figured, why not go with something a little bit different? Why not make her sort of more robotic looking? And after I did the pants with this, catching the top of her cloak in the card art, it almost looked like a goldish, copperish color to me. So I went ahead and painted the cloak in this metallic color as well, which is something that I wouldn't have thought about doing, but I was really happy with how it came out in the end. It really surprised me. So I'm eager to see what you think at the end of the video. I'm going to use rough iron for her boots. And they look like they go pretty far up on her leg. I'm going to come in with natural steel to do her knee pads, the toes on her boots, some of the knives on her thighs, the gun and the knife that she's holding, as well as her mask and her breastplate. Her card art, the metallics are pretty shiny on her, so I'm going to go ahead and try to keep a lot of this shine on the metal. I used hexed lichen here for her shirt on her arms. I think that the purple really stands out well against the other metallics on here. For her gloves, I'm going to use Mournfang Brown. As with most of my models, as I'm putting down the base coats, I'm not being super careful with everything. I'll make some of the corrections here later on. As I've said before, you can always go back in and make corrections on these, so don't worry about any kind of mistakes. I'm going to use Mechanicus Gray to put down a base coat on the lower half of the cloak, or maybe this is like a skirt on her. I couldn't tell exactly what color they had on the card art, so I just went with a dark gray here. For her hair, I'm going to use Beyblade Brown. And this is just to put down an initial base coat on here. We're going to darken it up a little bit to add some of the details later. For the ammo belts and some extra straps on her, I'm picking those out with this chocolate brown. With these browns, sometimes if there's a lot of different straps and gloves and boots and everything is all leather, I try to use a little bit different shading on them just so that they stand out from one another, like they're not all made of the same exact material. And as typical, I'm going to come in with Earthshade and do a wash over the vast majority of the model. I like doing this. It's a sloppy method, but it does kind of tie the whole model together. It adds all the shading into the recesses that we like, and it just gives the models more of a darker look to them. To bring back the shine on the silver parts, I'm going to use Metal Mail. This will help brighten back all of the edges on the gun, the knife that she's holding, her breastplate, and her mask. And we just want to kind of bring back that shine that you see in the card art. I'm going to hit her eye lenses with Mephiston Red. I love this red. I use it on almost all of my figures because it's just a nice bright red that covers great. I'm coming back with the Hexed Lichen to brighten up the purple parts. And we're going to come in with Mournfang Brown to highlight all of the leather straps, the ammo belts, and such. I like coming back in after we've darkened the leather parts with a lighter brown, just to give it a little bit of a highlight here. For the hair, I'm going to lighten it with beige. I wasn't really happy with how this came out. It was a little too light afterwards, so I'm going to come back in and wash this later on. For the bottom part of her cloak or skirt, I'm going to use Mechanicus Gray to bring it back up. And here I use some of the beige that I had just pulled out to lighten it as I highlighted, and used a little bit more of a blending technique to go from the dark recesses up to the higher highlights. Here's where I darken the hair back down. I'm putting another wash on top of it because the beige was just way too bright. I'm coming back with a little bit of bronze just to highlight some of the bullets that are on her ammo belts and such. And with that, she's all done. This is the last miniature for the Wellspring, so I'm anxious to move on to the next set. It's been a really fun set to paint up. I'm happy with how she came out. I think she looks really cool. And I'm really happy with the metallic cloak. I think that it's different. It's definitely not something I normally do. I would never use metallics for clothing. But I kind of like the way that it came out. It just adds a little bit of difference. And you know what? It's a fantasy world where you can kind of use whatever you want. So, and with that, I want to say thanks for watching. I hope that you enjoyed the video. I hope that it inspires you to get some of your miniatures painted up. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.